So I will very quickly hand over to our next speakers, to Mofi and Bethel, and I'll let them introduce themselves because they'll do a much better job of introducing them than I will. So Mofi and Bethel, it's over to you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Mofi. I am both a STEMinist and a gender equality advocate, and both Bethel and myself are co-presidents of a Girl Up Coalition. So I'll hand over to Bethel and we'll dive right in. We'll explain what Girl Up is, and what we want to do is just have a conversation with you, give you lots of takeaways, and go through our journey, schools, career paths, and all things activism. So Bethel, when you're ready.
Hello everyone, my name is Bethel. I'm 19 years old and I would describe myself as a gender equality and human rights activist and also a public speaker. And at the same time, I'm a student at the University of Kent studying economics and politics. As Mofi explained, we're going to talk about our journeys through activism and our academic journeys, and that led us to where we are now. And we're going to talk about the trials we face and explain how there's not one direction to where you want to go. So Mofi's going to start by asking me a few questions and I'm going to answer those questions.
I am. And just before I do, Bethel, because I said lots of takeaways, for everyone who is interested in Robert's talk and is looking to start a career in maybe law, there is something available to our age range. And I say our because I'm also an A-level student. The Bar Mock Trial, it's an amazing experience where you're given the opportunity to take in a case, go into a courtroom and act as a barrister. You wear the wig, you go into the little sections at the back where the criminals have to stand. Very scary, I will admit, but definitely keep in mind that opportunity if it's something you'd like. So first things first, Bessel, thank you so much for saying your age. What's Girl Up? What on earth is that? Who are they?
Yep, so Girl Up is a United Nations Foundation initiative that works towards achieving the goal of gender equality globally. So it was founded in 2010 in the US, but it's starting to expand more. And what Mofi and I have done is taken the role of expanding Girl Up in the UK, and we do this by going into different schools and starting different clubs within those schools, holding different fundraising events. In October, we have a summit coming up that we're hosting, and we're going to have different speakers from different walks in life, sharing their experiences, their stories, and the whole goal is to just make an impact, sustainable impact, and to just change the narrative of the way the world is viewed and the way women are viewed, and just provide these opportunities that a lot of people don't have.
Thank you, Bethel. Now I'm going to come and ask you how you start a Girl Up club, because I know you just said we start up Girl Up clubs. If you could dive a bit deeper into that. But before I do, your mention of summits. Now, last year we were all at home, virtual screens, and we had the pleasure of hosting our leadership summit, which is usually over in DC. We had the likes of Sheryl Sandberg, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, just to name a few of the greats joining and sprinkling their words of wisdom. The same thing is happening this year. Now, I'm going to throw around a date, and I really do hope it's the right date. It is one of the two. Bethel, I'm hoping you can clarify the 13th or the 17th of July. All throughout this period of time, and I believe starting next week, we're going to be doing tours. So across Europe, Asia, the US, different places where we're going to have nice moderated panels with such inspirational guests. I know in Europe, we're going to have some amazing women. I'm not going to send any more details down, because if you're interested, have a look into the Girl Up community on Instagram. Just check us out at Girl Up and there will be more information there. So back to that question, how do you start up a Girl Up club, Bethel, and what do you expect to do?
Yep, so starting up a Girl Up club is easy because we provide you with the resources you need. All you need is a group of 3 people that are passionate to making this change. You can meet anywhere you want, a classroom, a coffee shop, wherever you feel comfortable. And we provide you with the resources weekly that you need to do so. So the ball is literally like everything, you have control of what you do in these clubs. And if you have any questions, you could just direct those towards us.
So she's completely right. And if I can just share a few things we did in our Girl Up Club, having Bethel and myself as club leaders a couple of years ago was a treat to our Girl Up Club members, as we took a bunch of them to 2 events. One was We Day, which is again available to all schools. So hopefully if that's in person next March is usually when it happens, you're in the O2 Arena and you have amazing people coming and speaking to you. We had Idris Elba, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and all of these amazing people who honestly make you enter the arena and leave a different person. It's the event I'll always say changes me every time. On top of that, we welcomed a bunch of our club members, and this is available to any club in the UK, to the Disney headquarters where we had our summit. The food was bomb. I'm going to start there. So if you're a foodie, that's one reason to come. And second of all, if you want to find out what it means to be an activist and how you start that career path, because I would say it's a career path, it's a full-time job, if I'm being completely honest. Bethel, back to you. What does it mean to you to be an activist? How would you explain that? And what parts of activism are you more able to relate to because of personal experiences?
Yep. So I think anyone can be an activist. It doesn't matter who you are, your age, your gender. Anybody can be an activist. Um, my activism started from probably the age of 14, and you're probably wondering, this is a careers talk. How is activism relevant towards my career and my academic journey as well? Because I started my activism from a young age, so I started working with the United Nations Foundation at the age of 14. I had the opportunity to work with Disney and create a short film with perfumer Joe Malone to inspire young people to dream big. I went and I volunteered with We organization that Mofi talks about. I volunteered in India. All this activism experience is what led me to figure out what I want to do in the future and where I want my career path to go. So initially I wanted to do medicine. I did everything I needed to do medicine. I got my A's at GCSEs. I went and I studied biology and chemistry at A-level, and it was at A-levels, and it was in year 12 where I realized that this isn't what I want to do. And a lot of the time people think, oh, it's too late, you've already chosen your A-levels. But my experience allowed me to realize that that's not what I want to do. And I was able to make that change in year 12. So one thing I would say is that there is a lot of time to change the career that you want to go into. And it may look like you're stuck in a specific place or you have to go somewhere because you've chosen specific subjects. But that wasn't the case for me. I ended up completing my A-levels and I ended up studying economics and politics because I want to go into politics and hopefully one day become a politician. So a bit of advice that I would give is experience is extremely crucial. Because of my experience, I've been exposed to people that work in politics. I've been able to network with different politicians that I wouldn't have imagined being able to network with if I hadn't had this experience.
You've landed on one thing that I'm going to quickly touch upon, and that's networking. All throughout your career, networking is it's gold. You're going to meet people and you're going to find things in common. You're going to meet someone else and find that they have something in common with the last person you met. And you're going to be able to help build this community of empowered people who are able to reach out and work on projects together. I can say, especially since the whole virtual era began, I've worked in people with from over 10 to 15 different countries, and we are all making impact where we are. And if you can think about how minute that might be, even if I'm helping 1 or 2 people in the UK and they're doing the same in their different countries, and this knock-on effect that those 2 people then go and help another 2 people, it's honestly phenomenal just to know what can be done. So my best bit of advice when it comes to networking is not to be afraid. Whenever I make a new friend, I always have a small conversation with them and I say, can we just fast forward to the 6 months down the line when we've actually been friends and we like each other and we can just be comfortable? Because if not, we're going to waste those 6 months of being extremely shy and standoffish when we can jump right into the deep end. It's the exact same with networking. And more so, if something's awkward, you can just drop off of the Zoom call and say that your Wi-Fi cracked off. Just go out there and give it a go. It's really important. Most of the time, people don't say no. I don't like to say this, but we are children. It's kind of hard to say no to children. So definitely use that as an advantage. Now, Bethel, you started to talk about your academic journey, and if it's okay, I'm just going to discuss mine as well, because you found out in year 12 that you didn't like your subjects and you got to switch. For me, I'm unable to switch, and I just want to talk you through how you have to overcome the inevitable. So throughout my GCSEs, I was always a high achiever. No one was worried about me. You know, back in my mind, straight nines is going to be a breeze. I was completely happy about that. I had those thoughts, but I did not put the work in. And this is where I become very honest, although it's an embarrassing story. Throughout my mocks, I was underperforming. And there was a time where I was unbothered again because I knew these were mocks. I didn't try, I didn't revise very much. And obviously those results were the results that I ended up with. Now, my final mock, and this was post-COVID, no, pre-COVID, excuse me, I got the grades that I wanted. So I'd gone from, let's say, a 2 to an 8. I made the jump, and my teachers were all like, it's about time. You should have done that before. I left it to the last minute. I managed to get to an 8 before COVID. Not being able to do my GCSEs meant I was stuck there. And that means I couldn't have gotten the grades we all know I could have achieved and that I wanted to achieve because of the behavior that was displayed before. Fast forward, I'm now at a much better school and I'm performing very well. The subjects I'm taking are maths, physics, and computer science. I did not want to study physics at all. I chose it because I was told I couldn't take further maths because you had to get a 9 in maths and my 8 didn't suffice. I am now on 2 A stars in maths and computer science, and I'm not on an A star in physics, to say the least. So I need to put in that work and I need to figure out a way to make everything work and balance out. I know I'm stuck and I know that I can't change subjects, I can't do anything else. So I need to have a discussion with myself and I need to fit in time to build back up. I have lots of friends who are in similar situations of not getting grades and moving to new schools. And being in a grammar school, they're a lot more strict because they don't know you and they want their grades to be polished, that you're not really allowed to switch things. And lots of careers are changing. What we want to do is changing. I do not want to do anything with physics, but I tell myself maybe God wants me to become an astronaut or something because I don't know why I'm still studying it. So we'll see what happens in the future there. Now, in regards to finding what you want to do in your career, you don't have to know now. And I think that's something really important because whenever I'm asked, I always give a broad description of what I would like to be doing in terms of impact. Sometimes there are job descriptions that don't exist that are created just to fit what you have to offer. So please don't ever be afraid that you want to be a lawyer and a specific type of lawyer because that's what you're studying and that's what everyone around you says. If you are able to bring to the table a skill set that no one else can, you have created a job for yourself. And I know that I definitely want to go into higher education. I'm surrounded by people in top institutions, and that's always, I'd say, like a pressure point that I have friends in Harvard and Oxford, and they're all like, oh, come. And I'm, of course, going to strive to them. But you have to also bear in mind that if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And do that with an open mind. Be happy about it. We now are going to move into a bit more of where I'm headed, and that's rejection is redirection. And Bethel, I will start with this just to put it out there and give you some time. But I have been rejected many times. I'm sure that's not going to change, and in the future I will still receive many I regret to inform you letters. It is a part of the process. I am currently a teen advisor at Gallup, and I had applied for this position twice. The first time I didn't get it, and I was bummed. I was up against 500 odd other girls sprinkled across the robe, and it wasn't meant to be. Because of that, I then got another opportunity, which changed my life. It has changed my life, and I am completely different because of it. A year later, I went back and I got it. Now, if I had gotten the role last year, I highly doubt I would have had any of the opportunities that I have had to experience. So that's something more in the activism sector. In terms of job roles and career things, I know we're all on Springpod trying to find work experience. Bloomberg, they've said no. Goldman Sachs have said yes. Barclays have said no. JP Morgan have said yes. It's a knock-on effect of yeses and nos, and you just have to take them how they come. Some things aren't going to be suited to you, and it's just the earth saying, move on to the next. Bethel, what are some of your rejections and how have they proven to be redirections?
So I think my story is a little bit different. So from the beginning, I didn't experience a lot of rejection. So I was getting a lot of positions where I applied. I got the role of a teen advisor immediately. I got the opportunity to work for Disney immediately. I got the opportunity to go to India immediately. And I guess I was not prepared for rejection in the future. And my piece of advice would literally be exactly what you said. Rejection is redirection, because I'm learning to accept that and realize that there are so many opportunities. And one thing that I always remember is that most of to never think that you're not good enough to apply for a position, because a lot of people apply for jobs that they know that they're underqualified for, and they get the positions that they need. And this is something that Mofi says to me all the time. It's not always about what you know. Sometimes it's about who you know, and it's what you know that keeps you in that position. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Thank you so much, Bethel. Now, I think from the both of us, we're going to give you our last takeaways. So if I were on the other end, what would I want to be hearing from this talk? Honestly, if you want something, you have to work for it. That could be something as small as sitting down and saying, okay, I want to become the founder of this company at the age of 30. Okay, this is just dreaming big and random things. I need to sit down and say, what do I need to do to get there? You don't need to write hundreds and hundreds of pages, but just to have a brief outline, and at the back of your mind, know every day that even if it's a small contribution towards that goal, you're making a small contribution towards that goal. If you don't, one day, it's not the end of the world. But the longer that you don't, the worse it becomes. You need to be able to pick it back up. Have a strong support system around you. Don't be afraid to take part in many new activities and new opportunities. You're going to meet people that you like and that you don't like. Learn to be cordial, and learn to take a leap of faith at all times. I hope that everyone on the other end is able to take something from that and utilize it in life. Like Bethel did say, it's not what you know, it's who you know, networking, and what you know that keeps you there. Bethel, over to you.
And this is just a bit of advice for anyone that wants to go into politics. First of all, I would encourage you to join the party that you represent. So, for example, I'm part of the Labour Party, and because I'm under 25, I'm automatically part of Young Labour. So they provide a lot of opportunities. I would also advise to join a trade union, and to also network on things like Instagram. So for me personally, I reached out to politicians on Instagram. I just DM'd them, didn't think they would respond. One of my favorite politicians actually responded to me, and now we have like a professional / friendly relationship. But through that, I'm able to get experiences like going to Parliament, and it's just those small things that that can lead you towards landing your dream job or getting into your occupation that you want to be in. So just don't be shy and just go for it, because I never expected to get any responses, yet to my surprise I did get a response. And a lot of people do actually want to work with young people, so use your age as your advantage. The younger you are, the better and more impressive it is.